the script. Conor Gardner comes up the field, puts it over, and Mayo are crowned the champions. What a finale! One of the best we've ever seen. And John O'Mahony has now led Mayo to win the Connacht title. Galway fans absolutely despondent, crestfallen, just after they had drawn level, but John O'Mahony's men had one more attack in them, and it fell to Conor Gardner from Crossmolina to put it over the bar and to win it by the narrowest of margins. It finishes Mayo 2 goals and 12 points, Galway 1 goal and 14. It's the moment Trevor Mortimer has waited for. The Nestor Cup is raised. Mayo are the Connacht football champions for 2009. John, I don't know who wrote the script, but that was the most amazing last couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked, I suppose, during the week about all of the Mayo-Galway games with just a point in it, but it looked to be anything but that with 5 or 6 minutes to go. And then the goal, but true Galway tradition. I mean, they're never beaten, and they're particularly never beaten in Salt Hill. But I'd have to pay our lads huge tribute as well, and the way that we responded. I suppose it could have been a killer. We could have put the heads down, but these lads know different, and they fought back. They won the ball, and Conor Gardner, you know, it was a sweet point at the end.
I think that we fought very well. We just didn't have that extra little bit of luck that you need on a day. You know, we had a number of wides there in the second half, and maybe a little bit wild, some of them. But you know, whereas in the first half Mayo had only 2 wides. You know, so you know it comes down to that. Like if you take your chances, and we had certainly had enough of chances, but we didn't take all of them. You know, and just want to compliment Mayo on the way that they fought, and compliment in particular our own team in the effort that they put in, and in the way that they came back and, you know, nearly stole it.
Tommy, Liam Salmon there felt they were a little bit unlucky. Would a draw have been a fair result?
I suppose if you're a Galway man, you'd be looking for a draw. Having done so well to come back from 7 points down, it would have been an awful game for Mayo to have drawn in the circumstances. Because really, I thought they did control the game for most of the game, and they didn't look like Galway never looked like they were going to get back level with Mayo. It always looked like a 3 or 4 point margin victory. And like you know, when Galway did get back, Mayo showed great composure to actually go up and kick the winning score. And huge positive for Mayo. Does 2-11 from play. All the maligned Mayo forwards over the years, 8 or 9 or 10 fellas scored, and there was a great spread of performance in the Mayo team today.
Okay, Dara, you've been picking out some of the positive things that you saw in Mayo's performance today.
Yeah, Mayo were 5 points up at half-time, which wasn't an unassailable lead given the wind that was there, and you felt that Galway, if they kicked properly at all in the second half, they would have maybe narrowed that gap a bit more. But Mayo played a very clever game tactically. They got lads back, the likes of Conor Gardner, Andy Moore and Ronan McGarity all dropped back, and any breaking ball that was to be picked up from the aerial bombardment from Galway in the second half was picked up by Mayo shirts. You would see the ball coming in again. Ronan McGarity tracking back, which he had to do because there was a very, very stiff breeze. The Galway full back line got great support from their half back line and from Ronan McGarity in this instance, and they were able to set up the attacks that way. Galway's first score in the second half from play came after 30 minutes, and it left them with an awful lot to do because of Mayo's quality support play for each other. Here we have Galway losing the kick out eventually and going on the attack again, but Trevor Mortimer filters back here and gets the ball, and it's another turnover, and they're on the attack straight away again. And at crucial stages of the game, this is late in the game, Diarmaid Blake kicks a high ball in, but even then you have a man tracking back. I think it's Donald Vaughan here collecting the break from it and setting up Mayo coming out of the defence again. You know, I thought they supported their backline very, very well, which they needed to do because 5 points wasn't a huge lead for the second half.
And the Mayo sub that come in did well, Des, and I think that's one thing that we're looking at in teams at this stage of the championship. Do the subs come in and make a difference? And they did.
Sure. Well, one of them is one of the big talking points over there.
Yeah,
Conor Mortimer.
Yeah, he's
whatever way he spelled Michael Jackson is for another day. But
you either like him or you hate him, Des. He's never a man that creates an opinion. You know, you're very one way or the other, and they're all like that in Mayo about him.
Yeah, although I've yet to, I understand that, and I'm surprised by that.
Yeah.
But today he was a hero, a great second goal.
Yeah.
But then involved in losing possession.
Yeah, Des. He's a very talented footballer, and like all talented players, there's always a little chink. Do you know what I mean? The Lord doesn't give them everything. And you know, his brother Trevor, who I've always felt is a very, very, very good, solid player. A man you'd always want in a team because he'll do the hard graft for you. You know, but this is excellent skills by Trevor. His delivery of the pass into Connacht was absolutely perfect. Off his weak hand, you know, textbook pass. We saw last night the down man missing something like that, and obviously he's telling us that Michael Jackson was a Mayo fan. You know, the great Joe Brody was a great man for eccentric hands in the air and blowing to the crowds as well, and you just get a goal. And here we have Mayo. Like, this was nonsense by Mayo. You see Tyrone keep ball, or Kerry when the recycled ball against Dublin, we remember last year or 2 years ago in the All-Ireland semi-final. You know, they did it at pace. This is all.
But the one mistake they do make, as you say, they're not moving when they're doing. The body language is all wrong. It's a bit casual, and it's kind of inviting the tackle. But at the same time, Conor Mortimer had no options inside him. He couldn't turn inwards. Now, the one thing I'd be surprised with, see the 5 Mayo boys filtering back as they had done all day, that one of them didn't manage to double team Michael Meehan at this stage.
And a fantastic finish by me and Darragh.
Fantastic finish. But I'm surprised they had 5 lads running back there at that stage, that one of them at least didn't double team, because Cafferty had committed to the tackle. But, you know, Meehan is a quality player and he will finish in those situations.
Great last 5 minutes from Galway, but earlier on, Darragh, you felt that they were making mistakes that maybe shouldn't be made at this level.
Yeah, well, right throughout the game, from start to finish, they were making these simple mistakes. It's forgivable, I suppose, to give the ball away, you know, under pressure. But a lot of these were from set pieces, restarts. Sean Armstrong, this actually led to the goal. This one, to Barry Moran's first goal. It works all the way up the field. Joe Cafferty clears. Paul Conroy had a bad day with the sideline balls. I don't know whether it's the lads inside are moving, but that certainly was a ball to nobody. And this really was a ball along the line more in hope than in anything else. There's no real design to this, and Mayo were able to counter-attack again. But it's from set pieces. Look at this sideline ball again. This was crucial. This was Mayo's first score in a long, long time in the second half. Conor Mortimer was able to turn over a sideline and get a score. And a score at that stage from play from Mayo was crucial. It was a precious score.
It was worth 3 or 4 points, that score, Des, because, like, you know, Galway were starting to put Mayo on the cash. And, like, Darragh's right, Galway spilled an awful lot of easy ball. And that's really was the difference in the team. I thought Mayo's use of the ball when they had it was, you know, they were very purposeful. I didn't think they played at the same pace that you'd normally expect Mayo to play with. Normally they're coming at an awful lot more pace onto moves. They weren't like that today. I think they were trying to, maybe in the second half, contain Galway a lot more. But
should that be credited to Galway, though, for how they set up
Galway were a lot
them?
more aggressive. They were aggressive early on against Sligo the last day, but they managed to maintain that right throughout today. But it's just kick passes let them astray. And as Liam Salmon said there as well, a few wild kicks, using the breeze so badly in the second half.
OK, we'll be talking about Galway later on when we have the draw for the 4th round. But, Darragh, what about Mayo now going forward?
They're Connacht champions on merit. They're into the last 8. That's stating the obvious. They're a quality team. They have the likes of, let's say, Keith Higgins at the back would get on any county team. Ronan McGarity would get on most county teams. Alan Dillon would get on most county teams.
Are they top 4?
I think the 4 provincial winners this year that are in the quarterfinals are the top 4 teams in the country at this present time. Okay. So they are top 4 right now, and they're capable on any given day of taking down one of the big teams, let's say the Tyrones or the Dublins.